Hello and welcome to today's tutorial. In this tutorial, I will show you how to set up a Wrike Discover training session blueprint in English and in German that enables you to assign a training project to new or existing users in your account. So let us jump into Wrike. And I'm going to be setting up a dedicated space for the training. And you do that by clicking on the plus icon top right corner and selecting the option space. And I'm going to be starting with a blank space. I'm not going to be selecting any of those pre-configured spaces up here. I'm going to start with a blank space, bottom left corner, create blank. I'm going to give it a name, so like training. And I'm also selecting this as a public space. Anybody in my account will have access to that. And so anybody from my team has access to that automatically. They can search for the space, or if you add them up here, my team, they will automatically see the space on the left side with all the other spaces. You can also change the icon of the space if you would like to. And then for the work item types in this space, I'm going to be creating new item types. I'm going to be creating an item type called, sorry, create a new item type. I'm going to be creating an item type called Wrike training on project level. So we're going to assign them a project training. And I'm going to be changing the icon here. I'm going to be selecting something that is more appealing to me. For instance, the Wrike logo, the Wrike tick box here. So I'm going to clicking on create, and then additionally here we also create a new item type, this time on task level, and this is the actual training session, Wrike training session. And I'm also changing the logo here. Since we have a lot of videos, I'm going to be taking a media icon, for instance the video gallery up here. So I'm going to be creating this. Boom. I don't need tasks in this space, and I don't need projects. For projects, we have the training project up here, and the tasks are the actual Wrike training sessions that the users need to complete. So once I set up the basic configuration of the space, I click on create, and you will see the space appearing on the left-hand side there. Before we go into the further configuration, I'm going to be creating two fields in this space up here. I'm going to be creating a custom field called URL. So in this field, all my links to the actual training sessions will appear. Please ensure that you write this with capital letters, and then you call this a text field up here, and we apply this to tasks, to projects, and to folders. The second field that I'm going to be creating is called language, capital L at the beginning, language, and we make this a single select field with one option called English, and the other option is called German. And please ensure that you apply this to projects only, because the project language will determine the actual sessions, the training sessions. So then I click on create up here. So this has been created. Then we go back into the space settings, and you see this gear icon up here. Only space administrators have access to the space settings and see this gear icon up here. If you would like to have another space admin besides you can add them very easily here. Ensure that they have as an access role space admin rights. They are not account admin. They only have access to the settings of this space up here. Make sure to save it up here. So that's it. Then we go into the actual blueprint section up here. Now we create a new blueprint. We have a folder here to organize yourself, and I call this Wrike colleges trainings. And then we select a folder up here. You can also choose the default view, what you like best. Personally, I like the table view, but then again, everybody ticks a little bit in a different way. Some people prefer the board view or the Gantt chart up here. I prefer the table view. You can click on any or change the views within the folder itself, but just the default view when you open this one up is the table for me. So then I click on Create, and you see the training folder that has been created up here, and we have the three links, three dots. You can import the file that you find in the description of this YouTube video. Click on import, import from Excel. Select the file that you downloaded before. You open that and click on next. It will import the file itself. It takes a moment, but once it is imported, you will get up a pop-up success, and if you click on yes, it will refresh, and then you have the Excel file already imported. Here we go. So now what we need to do, I'm just going to collapse everything up here, set item, collapse all. I have my two projects up here, and I select the two projects and I change the item type to Wrike training. And also for the sessions up here, I'm gonna unselect them all, sub items, expand all, and then I select the actual sessions out here. This is unfortunately a little bit of clicking. Those sessions are currently still imported as a task level, and we want to change them to Wrike training sessions. So it is unfortunately a little bit of clicking here, but not too many clicks. Make sure you don't click the folders. And we change the item type to Wrike training session. You will see that the logo changes to the logo that we selected early on. So we can click on one here, and you see the URL here, you see the description, the status up here. We see some fields that I would like to customize. So I don't know the importance the author created by. I want to hide this up here, and I also want to customize the top a little bit. And for that, we go into the custom item types. We select the training session item type, and we don't need approvals. We do need the subscriptions. We don't need the files up here. Unless you're adding files, I would also recommend to hide this one up here. Then we don't need the importance. We don't need the author. We don't need the created date. What we do want to add is the URL field. And actually, I want to pull this one up into the top out there. The assignee, yes, maybe it makes sense out there, but I also prefer to have the date up there. So this is what we customized. Obviously, you can customize that to your needs. And if we go back, look at our blueprints. Just going to pick one now. Just going to pick one, pick the German one up here. You see that we have the URL up here, the date, just what we configured up here, and the assignee is still empty. There's three fields up here that I would like to show. One is the URL. You can see the URL with all the links to the actual training sessions in here. Then what I also want to show is the field called effort. this shows you how long the actual training session is up here, and then we have one other field that we set up there is the language field, and you can see that this is only on project level. We have one in German up here and the other one in English. So that's already the blueprint set up there. And the final part of this training session is to set up a request form. A request form is actually an intake form, and it allows you, to fill this form in, or anybody can fill this form in, and then the blueprint is being pulled and is scheduled out to the user who should receive the training out there. And typically that can be done by your IT department. Once they provision the right user, they will also submit this form and set up the training for the new user. How do we do that? So we click on create a request form or intake form. And then we give it a name, Wrike training request. And we're going to make this very, very simple. It's not going to be too complex, this form. On the left-hand side, we want to create a project from, and then we select our blueprints, and you can either select the English or the German one. I'm going to be selecting the English one up here. And then we create the actual form there. So we go on add user assignee, and we're going to create a user field out here, and we just call it name of the user who should receive the training, or should the training be assigned to. And this is a compulsory field here, and we add this to the title and to the owner of this project. The next thing that we want to do out there is to create a date field. When should the training start? So this is a start date up here. We can also make this compulsory if you want to. I leave this one out there. And then the final field in the form is going to be single select, single answer. And we can click on use custom field as an option out here. And we should see our language file appearing up here. Which language should the training be? And we need to click on the arrows up here and replace the initial project that was scheduled out as an English project. We should replace that, and of course select the German blueprint if that one is selected out there. And we're almost done there with the form up here. There's two minor fields that we want to change on the left-hand side. So we reschedule this. Obviously, we align it with the task start date, and then if you deploy a blueprint all over again, the blueprint names would be the same. So we actually give it a prefix out here, the name of the user who should receive the training. And that's it. We can publish that. So you can open the link up here. I'm going to close it to show you how other users would be seeing that in Wrike. Typically, they click on the blue icon, on the plus icon, top right corner. They go to request, and you see the Wrike training request out here. This is the form which is created. So we take IT project manager David. We should want to start him next week, Monday. And then this should be scheduled out in German. And if you click on that and submit that, the German blueprint is being pulled out there. The first training session is selected on Monday. I'm going to just go into the project here. I think we need to reload it in order to have the project scheduled out properly. And you can see that up here. Also, if you go to the Gantt chart, it's probably a little bit easier to see out there. Here are the first 3 training sessions scheduled out to David, and you can go into here and see and see the entire project out here. Obviously, we need to schedule this still to David. Apologies out there. This is a manual thing that you need to do. And since David is a beginner, we also schedule this training session to David. And then, I also want to know how David works with the team meetings. And this is all the sessions that you can quickly schedule out to one person and then assign it out to specific dates. So I hope you found this tutorial useful out there. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me. Thank you and have a nice day.